Another really tough fight that I'm down to the wire, going back and forth, back and forth. You could go first as I try to make up my mind once and for all.
So I like you have went back and forth. I don't like picking against Daniel Dubois because of what he did to my boy Hergovich, but I see like in the Hergovich fight, one thing that I saw in that fight was Dubois had a hard time defending the straight right hand. And unlike the Hergovich fight, he's not going to have this massive speed advantage against Joseph Parker. I feel like Parker is going to be able to match the speed of Dubois a lot more. He's very durable.
I
He's
think
very,
he's quicker than Dubois for sure.
he's quicker than Dubois, right? He's not like he's got a very good chin. The only guy that stopped him was Joe Joyce, but guess what? Joe Joyce stopped Dubois as well. So
Dubois was
it's
more
not.
competitive with Joyce.
Yeah, he was. But I overall I just think that it's like heavyweights aren't like most fighters. A lot of them can mature later. And I feel like the irony of this fight is both these guys lost to Joe Joyce. Both these guys were on the wrong side of those fights and
Counted
now they
out to a
both
degree.
yeah, counted out. They both built themselves back up to, where they're at now as two of the top guys in the division. And I actually think, believe it or not, both of them are in their prime right now. I feel like what Dubois went through with the Usyk and Joyce fights, Hergovich as well, and Joshua, this has expedited his prime. And then with Parker, Andy Lee, I think has pulled the best out of him late in his career. So if I it's hard to really pick, but I think I'm gonna go with the experience. I'm gonna go with the experience. I'm gonna go with the speed. I'm gonna go with their durability of Joseph Parker to win a tight decision in this fight.
Oh man, I want Parker to win because I've already
Yeah.
seen Dubois and Usyk, and the low blow stuff doesn't that's not the angle that sells me on a rematch. I'm good. I've seen them fight already, and
Yeah.
I'm good. Ever since Usyk came to the heavyweight division, you'll remember I wanted Joe Parker to fight him
Mm.
because
Yep.
I think it's a very interesting style matchup. Parker brings some interesting elements for Usyk, like he's not a giant like Joshua and Fury. So he's not as lumbering as those guys. Even Fury, who's super smooth with it, he got Fury on the back end after those Wilder fights. I don't think Fury it was 100% Fury these days. That's my take. But these big guys, man, they struggle with that work rate and constantly having to deal with that lead hand jousting and feints. It mentally and physically exhausts them over 12 rounds. Parker, unlike those guys, he still has a size advantage, but he's not too big. He's got a
Correct.
he's got a perfect kind of size for Usyk, where Usyk's about 6'3", 225-ish, 230. Parker's about 6'4", 240, 245-ish. So he's bigger than him, but still small enough as more of a mid-sized heavyweight to compete speed for speed, at least better than those guys could, and compete feint for feint, and compete by being light on his feet as well, and match some of the IQ and the positioning of Usyk. So I kind of from that standpoint, I really want Parker to pull this off, and I think he can. When they had their face off, um, you know, Dubois is feeling himself, rightfully so. And they ask him, "Are you the king of the UK now?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And I thought to myself, "Yeah, right now you are, but calm down, young man. You haven't gotten there yet."
Mm.
The difference between you, Joshua, and Fury, they were the legitimate heavyweight champion of the world when they were the king of the UK, and you're not. So you still got some work to do to really fill those shoes that you feel like you're already filling right now. Parker was looking at him like you still haven't learned to keep yourself humble like I have from those trials and tribulations. The problem is though, Dubois, he found his resurgence when he's younger than Parker. And Parker became a gross underachiever. Because if you look at Parker, when he had his first 10 or 15 fights, he was ripped, he was in shape, his
Yep.
combinations and hand speed were superb, and he looked like he could be something special. And then he got softer and out of shape, and his skills and his form started to deteriorate, and it bottomed out against Joyce. And now he's found the second win. But and he's got the smarts and Andy Lee to walk Dubois into some right hands. But Dubois is still younger than him and stronger than him. And if it comes down to the exchanges, um, he's a little younger and stronger, and he's very fundamentally sound. And and Parker drops the lead hand and gets a little bit more sophisticated on the back foot. I mean, this fight really could go either way, man. It's really hard for me to pick. I want Parker to win because I love the matchup between him and Usyk. I think I gotta give it just the edge to Dubois though,
Okay.
because
Okay.
of the youth and the punching power. But he's basic and he's slow. He's got good timing and really good fundamentals, and he reactively moves his head sometimes. Like he's got good repetition with his trainer to work on that. But Parker is more sophisticated. He's more savvy. He's a little quicker. I just don't know if that youth and that punching power advantage for Dubois overcomes that a little bit. I don't know. Help me come to a final verdict here, DT.
Me personally, I believe that I'm really intrigued to see how this fight's going to be fought in close quarters
I
because
think Dubois has the edge there.
he probably has the edge there because when he fought Hergovich, I think that was a big difference in their fight. He was the more physically stronger guy. Um,
It's
I
like
think
Parker. I know you could box better than him. I know you're more savvy than him, but you can't Floyd Mayweather this thing. He's
no,
gonna make you
this,
fight at times. And
yeah, this heavyweight. I think what can help Parker in this fight is that he fought Derek Chisora a couple times in his career.
Derek Chisora.
Derek Chisora, a true warrior, British sport. But Derek Chisora was once trained by Don Charles, who's his trainer, and Don Charles kind of taught Daniel Dubois the dark arts, so to speak, of boxing, of getting on the inside, being a little dirty if you got to. He made him meaner. He made Dubois start fighting the way God made him to fight. At 6'6", 260 plus pounds.
Be a tank.
So as a tank, yeah. So if Parker can handle that, he will beat him. If he can't handle that, he loses. It's literally that plain and simple. But I think Parker, like I said, man, I think mentally, maybe not physically, but I think mentally he's peaked as a fighter. He's at his peak as a fighter mentally, and I think that he'll find a way to win.
I like his mentality. I do. He's always been a little bit too nice, and I think Andy Lee has rubbed. So, he hasn't changed him. He's always gonna. You have to be who you are,
Correct.
but he's added a little bit more
Edge.
backbone, edge,
Yeah,
yeah, to his game. Problem for him is this ain't Wilder and Zhang. This guy ain't gonna be throwing 10 punches around,
yeah, he won't let him rest.
right? So
But
and Parker said he knows that.
that could also play into his favor because if a guy's gonna throw that many punches, there's a lot of openings there. So you know that Parker loves that double jab, straight right hand, and Dubois, he's not going to be moving his head or parrying shots. His head's going to be on the center line right there. So
It
it's a
is.
hard fight.
It is. You can see
It's
that right hand being money for Parker in this
I
fight.
can, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons. Like I'm leaning, like I'm not confident picking either one of these guys. It's a tough matchup, but I'm gonna go with the experience on this one. I think Parker will win a decision, a close decision.
I hope you're right. I want Parker and Usyk. I want to see that style matchup, that size matchup. You know what? What was the other fight? We did Zhang and Cabiel, where I picked Zhang just so someone looks smart between the two of us. You had
Yeah.
Cabiel and Zhang. I'm gonna pick Dubois just so one of us looks like we know what we're talking about.
We're hedging our bets here.
Yes,
Someone's
we're
gonna be
hedging.
smart.
This is the first time we're going down a card and doing this, so we
You
gotta.
know what? I was telling my dad earlier. I want to be 5-2. If I can be 5-2, I'll be happy with 5-2 or better. You know?
I'll edge it to Dubois.
Yeah.
Again, I'd like Parker to do it. I think he can. I think we broke down exactly why he can. But that youth and that power and the fact that it's great that Parker has figured it out, but sometimes those years you didn't have it figured out and you were letting your body get soft. That can pay dividends in a bad way for you, whereas Dubois never went through that. He always
Correct.
kept himself in shape. And so his rediscovery has come at a younger age and he's taking care of his body better in the long run than Parker. So edge to Dubois. This is a good fight. We'll see what goes down.